what's your take on the Humanure toilet? I mean, have you been using them here?
Oh, I became a huge fan last year. Oh yeah, just as soon as I had a chance, one time was enough, and I never ever stepped back into the porta potty again.
Well, when I first heard the idea, I generalized it was going to smell and it would be gross, but I was pleasantly surprised. As close as the human manure is to the person in the bucket, with the sawdust, it completely masks the smell and hides it. I feel it's 10 times better than the Renta toilets that have their own smell. It's very strong, and I assume it's toxic chemicals in there. So I was really surprised.
We have sawdust that's from the local mill. It smells good. Everybody likes the smell. Then the toilets I built from recycled materials, except the top plywood that's 3/4.
They contain a 5-gallon container that fits.
Some of them are tight. I had to cut one the other day to make it looser so people be more user-friendly.
The contents are covered with the sawdust. Here's some instructions. Welcome to the compost toilet. Put your poop and pee and paper in the toilet. Completely cover the sawdust. When the container is full, lift the top, take it out, set it outside, put an empty one in.
I'm cleaning out toilets at midnight tonight. I'm looking forward to just how joyful it's going to be. Well, there's some 450 people here, maybe 500, maybe almost 500 people here, and there's 25 toilets total, and the ones I do at midnight are just the busiest ones, the ones in the kind of where everybody's partying, so that's maybe 10-15 of them.
And how long does it take?
Hour and a half, maybe.
Let's just have a look and see what it looks like. That one is full. So when it gets full like that, you got to take it out, put a lid on it, take it out, set it out here with the other full ones, and then get an empty, which is right here. Put the empty in there, put the lid on it, go beside it, make sure it has several inches of cover material in the bottom, and then there it is, ready to go, ready for the next person to use. These full ones are going out to the compost pile. They're collected twice a day. They're collecting about 125, 130 a day. By the way, the sawdust covers everything, so you don't have any flies or odor for that matter.
Okay, this is an accessible unit that took an hour to build. Old doors, really well framed. It's like solid. You can do whatever you want. And of course, in here you can leave your junk up here. And it's real funky.
Incoming. Another load. A lot of them. They have it down to where it takes about a minute per container. If they do 70 containers, it's going to take about 70 minutes to do the whole process.
Perfect.
I'm so happy that that invention has arisen, because it's completely changed the nature of the whole camp. Instead of having, by this time in the week, to steel yourself for a very unpleasant experience of chemicals and other unpleasant odors and flies swarming all over you in a hot enclosed plastic space. Instead, you can have the experience of climbing up into a breezy, open, cool, pine-scented, kind of nice little cabinet, and it's completely pleasant. Yesterday, we were noticing, gee, usually by this time in camp, there would be a gazillion flies all over the place, and there are almost no flies. And so it seems much more sanitary and certainly more aesthetic.
The Humanure goes in this big
About to make his fortune.
straw bale contraption. It's basically the straw bale
Nobody can recognize it.
compost bin. They're saving about, well, I think their maximum cost for portable toilets was about $15,000 a year, or I should say for a 10-day festival. By recycling in this manner, not only are they producing this compost, but the toilets are much more pleasant and people love them.
We think they're great. We think the compost toilets are just terrific.
You don't see things and you don't smell things.
The toilets are great.
Have you seen the compost pile?
What is that?
Where all the stuff goes?
Oh no, I thought about that.
Right
though.
over here. It's stone's throw away.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a pile versus a pit?
It's a pile above ground, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Scary.
You should have a look at
I
it.
don't want to.
These are the full
Shovel to get it underneath the bales.
containers.
No.
After these are emptied,
You took it to camp?
they will be covered with straw
Why do you have it at camp?
to keep the flies out and the odors in.
They're really clean. They're always well equipped with all the supplies we need. And it's the best composting pit toilet I've ever used.
I like them more than the porta potties. The last two of the porta potties are smelling way too bad.
They're fantastic. The air is great. They don't stink. They're wonderful. You can look at the sky.
Okay, now these receptacles over here have all been cleaned and rinsed and have sawdust put into the bottom. They're ready to take back to the toilets. Containers are rinsed up above, and the water is important for the compost. Compost likes to be damp, very damp, all the time. And so there's really nothing here to create any pollution. And then the last step will be to cover all this with some clean cover material. We'll take all the containers back, and they'll empty them again late tonight. So they empty them twice a day.
The toilets are great. I can attest to that. They smell really good. I mean, you go in there and there's no odor whatsoever.
I ditto that. I think this is much more sanitary. Definitely smells sweeter. Not have to have these big trucks coming by cleaning them out, picking out the potties. Yeah, definite improvement. Yeah, I'd never seen this before. This is the first time. So.
This is not just Humanure. This is all the kitchen materials from about 200 kitchen, or 200 dinner registrants. It's critical to have a nice layer of good clean cover material on top of these piles. If you do, they're odor-free and free of flies. The combination of carbon, which is sawdust, over here, and the Humanure, that combination allows microorganisms to proliferate. There goes some kitchen food in there. All goes in the same pile. And of course the straw is layered over each deposit, so for odor and fly prevention, so you end up with a lot of straw in there as well.
The only real problem that I've seen with it is the transfer of a full bucket to an empty bucket. But obviously somebody is doing it, because most of the time if it's kind of foolish one time when I go in there, the next time it's a nice pristine empty bucket. Yeah, that would be the only complaint I think I can possibly come up with for the system, because it is so much nicer than the porta potties.